visit, my delegation and my visit to China, which is next weekend. Going to China is always a pleasure. We have a long relationship, over 70 years, and it's a deep relationship between the people of Pakistan and people of China. So therefore, it's always a pleasure going there. So I'm looking forward to my visit. So please ask me questions.
Today, as a special gift, we present the mascot of Beijing Winter Olympics to you. The one sit next to you
These ones?
Yes.
These are the mascots?
Yeah, these are the mascot.
Okay.
And the one next to you is a clumsy icy panda. It's called Bing Dun Dun. And the other one is for Paralympics. It's called Xue Rong Rong. It's a Chinese traditional lantern.
Okay, I look forward to watching. I've never been to watch any Winter Olympics. In fact, I've never been to any Olympics, so I look forward.
Oh, yes, that's great. I'm from People's Daily, China. So my questions are all about Winter Olympics. So first one is, in 2021, China and Pakistan celebrate 70th years anniversary of establishment of diplomatic ties. And now you are also going to attending the opening ceremony of Beijing Winter Olympics Games. So this is another major event in the development of bilateral relationships. So how do you evaluate the high-level development of Pak-China relationship?
Look, the relationship between the two countries has just got stronger over a period of time. And one of the main reasons is that feeling in Pakistan is that China has always stood with us in our times of need. When Pakistan has, over the years, been in a difficult period, China has stood with us, and Pakistan has stood with China. And we are neighbors. I was in school when the Karakoram highway was being built. And that was a collaboration between the Chinese government and the Pakistan army. And it was a very difficult venture because the road was very difficult, there were steep mountainsides. And I remember the number of Chinese who died building the Karakoram highway. So the relationship is it's a deep relationship. And so over a period of time, it has actually got even stronger. And CPEC, of course, has also linked us, the two countries.
We know that sports always plays an important role in uniting people together. And for this Winter Olympics, it's also a very special time because it is the post-pandemic time. So what expectation do you have when you come to China to attending the opening ceremony of Winter Olympics? What's your expectation of it?
Well, firstly, this is the first Olympics, let alone it's a winter one, but it's the first Olympics I will be ever witnessing. So I look forward to that. And of course, you know, I was a sportsman for almost 20 years of my life. I was an international sportsman. People in China don't play cricket. I'm hoping that as our relationship gets stronger, we will also teach Chinese how to play cricket so that, you know, China can also become a great cricketing team. But I look forward because, you know, it's as a sportsman, it's apart from our relationship, close relationship between the two countries. It'll be very interesting for me to see a competition. Ever since I have been in politics, I've had no chance to watch any sports.
Yeah. So what do you think the Winter Olympics means to this post-pandemic era?
I think it's a very, you know, pandemic has devastated apart from anything else. It's sporting events all over the world have been affected by the pandemic. So in this context, I think it's for China to have gone through with the Winter Olympics, I think it's very admirable.
Assalamu alaikum Jannab Wazir-e-Azam Sahib. मैं हूँ शिन्हुआ न्यूज़ एजेंसी की उर्दू सर्विस की जोशु ख्वा। जैसा कि आपको इल्म है कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले एथलीट मोहम्मद करीम वो बीजिंग 2022 सरमाई ओलंपिक्स में पाकिस्तान की नुमाइंदगी करेंगे। हम इन मुकाबलों में पाकिस्तानी खिलाड़ी की शिरकत का बहुत खैर मकदम करते हैं. आपका शुमार दुनिया के बेहतरीन खिलाड़ियों में से एक है. मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ कि मुस्तकबिल में आपकी हुकूमत पाकिस्तान और चीन के दरमियान खेलों के ताउन को फ़रोग़ देने में क्या इक़दामात करेगी?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो जो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का इलाका है और कई पख्तूनख्वा के भी इलाके ऐसे हैं कि वहाँ स्कीइंग के लिए, और स्कीइंग मेन चीज़ है विंटर ओलंपिक्स की, तो स्कीइंग के लिए बेहतरीन जगह हैं. लेकिन अभी तक पाकिस्तान में हमने कभी सही माने में स्कीइंग के ऊपर तवज्जो नहीं दी. बड़ी कम जगहों के ऊपर स्कीइंग होती है. तो हमारी कोशिश ये है कि हम ये गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में ख़ास तौर पे स्कीइंग को डेवलप करें, और उसको जब डेवलप करेंगे तो हमारी ये भी कोशिश है, क्योंकि चाइना के अंदर ज़्यादा आगे निकल गए हैं, ज़्यादा तवज्जो दी जाती है विंटर स्पोर्ट्स की तरफ, तो हम सोच रहे हैं कि उनसे फिर कोलैबोरेशन भी करें, क्योंकि दूसरी तरफ खुजराब पास की दूसरी तरफ चाइना है और ये कनेक्शन भी उनसे है. तो हम इसके ऊपर भी अब सोच रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान में पहले तो वैसे स्कीइंग के ऊपर हम ज़्यादा तवज्जो दें, और दूसरा उधर से कनेक्शन गिलगित बल्तिस्तान और चाइना के अंदर, उधर भी हम स्पोर्ट्स के अंदर आपस में ज़्यादा मिलाप करवाएं, ज़्यादा कोऑर्डिनेशन करें.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's Brody Jiang Chao with Xinhua News Agency. So my question is that you praised China's development model on many occasions. And we know that China has developed a whole process, people's democracy, and committed to a people-centered approach. However, the United States and the Western countries try to impose their democratic model to other countries. So my question is that how do you think of China's whole process, people's democracy? Thank you.
The most impressive thing about China, which is accepted by the entire world now, is that the number, almost 700 million people in China have been taken out of poverty in the last 35, 40 years. It's never happened in human history before. And this is what impresses the entire world about China, whether they are in good relationship with China, they are on the other side, they sort of oppose China, but everyone has to accept that this has never happened in human history before. And so if you ask me what impresses me most about China, it is this fact. Because my main objective is somehow to raise people out of poverty in Pakistan. And so, when I went to China, I specifically wanted to know the steps taken for alleviating poverty there. And so the reason why I think that the Chinese model of development is what we want to emulate is because, it was an inclusive growth in China. When China grew, the whole population grew with China. It wasn't, unfortunately, like in a lot of the rest of the world, where the rich get richer and the poor, in fact, get poorer. The gap between the rich and poor gets wider. In fact, in pandemic, we discovered that the poor people got poorer and the super rich got even richer. And so China is a model for all those countries who want to have inclusive growth.
सर, मेरा ताल्लुक़ FM 98 दोस्ती चैनल से है. जैसे कि हम जानते हैं, आप हमेशा खेलों और वर्जिश के ज़रिए सेहतमंद तर्ज़ ज़िंदगी बरकरार रखते हैं. इस हवाले से आप चीनी अवाम को क्या मशवरा देना चाहेंगे?
चाइना के अंदर ये जो हमने देखा है कि एक तब्दीली आई है चाइना में. एक तो लोगों को गुर्बत से निकाला उन्होंने, लेकिन स्पोर्ट्स के अंदर चाइना कभी भी इतना आगे नहीं था दुनिया में जितना अब. पिछली 2-3 ओलंपिक्स में चाइना की परफॉर्मेंस बहुत इम्प्रेसिव रही है. तो इससे वाज़े होता है कि वहाँ बड़ी तवज्जो दी जा रही है अब स्पोर्ट्स की तरफ और फिटनेस की तरफ.
दूसरा मेरा सवाल ये है कि हुकूमत पाकिस्तान मुल्क की तरक्याती हिकमत अमली को जियो पॉलिटिक्स से जियो इकनॉमिक की तरफ मुंतकिल कर रही है. पाकिस्तान की तरक्की के लिए चीन पाकिस्तान स्ट्रेटेजिक और इक़्तिसादी ताउन से आपकी क्या तवक्कुआत वाबस्ता हैं?
देखिए, चाइना ने गुर्बत काम कैसे की? चाइना ने गुर्बत ऐसे काम की कि उन्होंने अपनी इकॉनमी को ग्रो किया। जो ग्रोथ रेट जैसी जैसी उनकी बढ़ी, तो उन्होंने उस ग्रोथ रेट से लोगों को गुर्बत से निकाला। अगर आपने गुर्बत से लोगों को निकालना है, तो जब तक आपकी इकॉनमी ग्रो नहीं करेगी, वेल्थ क्रिएशन नहीं होगी, तो आपके पास किधर से पैसा आएगा नीचे से लोगों को ऊपर उठाने के लिए? तो चाइना ने यही किया कि उन्होंने अपनी इकॉनमी के ऊपर तवज्जो दी, लेकिन ग्रोथ को फिर जब उनकी दौलत बढ़ी, तो उन्होंने ये नहीं किया कि वो थोड़े से पास पैसा चला गया फिर उन्होंने वो नीचे दिया। तो हमारी भी यही कोशिश है कि जब हम जियो इकोनॉमिक्स की बात करते हैं, तो हमारा मकसद ही ये है कि अब जोर हमने देना अपनी इकॉनमी को बढ़ाने के लिए। और जैसे जैसे, यानी इसका ये नहीं मतलब कि सिक्योरिटी के ऊपर हम तवज्जो नहीं दे रहे, लेकिन हम ख़ास तवज्जो जो हमने बदकिस्मती से पहले नहीं दी इकॉनमी के ऊपर तवज्जो, हमारी अब ख़ास कोशिश है भी पे हम जोर लगा रहे हैं, ताकि जैसे हमारी दौलत में इजाफा होगा, हम फिर अपने लोगों को गुर्बत से निकालें।
Of Economic Daily, and my first now, as a new phase of CPEC development, focuses on encouraging business and local government going to do to facilitate it. Respect for the development of CPEC and any expectation for more cooperation on renewable and clean energy.
The first phase of CPEC was basically cooperation. Now the CPEC has moved into the next stages where it's about relocation of industrial zones. We want help the productivity, because in China the productivity is much higher in agriculture and livestock. Help there too. And then drought resistance cotton varieties, which we have where that's where we're going to get help from China. That's another area where which is basically revolution in the world is the future, and China in that field.
Is now some Western countries keep telling lies. Many Pakistani people, scholars, journalists, Excellency has visited many times. They saw the place and talking about Xinjiang and what of life.
There's a lot of criticism about Uyghurs by China in the West, but ambassador in China, we asked him, but what we in Pakistan find it very difficult to see, Uyghurs, they do not talk much in the West about the worst violations of human rights are is selective 9 million people who are, really conditions in almost an open prison by so we find it very difficult that and there is the silence about Kashmir. Pakistan find it difficult.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm the group. Now my question is, Afghanistan humanitarian crisis responsible withdrawal of troops are the main the situation in Afghanistan. Community cooperate on Afghan issue.
Afghanistan has 40 years. It's always because of outside countries battleground. Afghanistan have suffered, and this is now the chance of peace in Afghanistan, because actually there is. This is, you know, after 4 decades. So, what the international community right now should understand Afghanistan, they cannot Afghanistan without going to survive from here, because in 1989 when the so did everyone, and from that chaos emerged the Taliban. And now, if everyone abandons Afghanistan, people of Afghanistan and Afghanistan, they are going to it's possible that the same conditions are created years ago when the US invaded. Same thing could happen again if there is chaos. So what should happen is that the international community should just think of the 40 million Afghan human beings there. Whether they like the Taliban government or not should be secondary. The welfare of the people of Afghanistan should be the foremost, and they are facing one of the worst humanitarian crises right now. And they really need help as soon as possible.
My next question is, you know, in a few days the Chinese Lunar New Year will come. What are your wishes for the Chinese Lunar New Year? And what are your expectations for Pakistan-China cooperation in 2022?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate the people of China for the Lunar New Chinese Year. So I congratulate everyone. My expectations are that you know, we have a relationship with China which is mutually beneficial for both countries, and we hope that in this relationship, because we are looking to raise Pakistan's economy and the well-being and raising people out of poverty, so we hope that we will, you know, we are already learning from the Chinese experience. But there's one thing I forgot to say, which we want to learn from China, is how they have built their mega cities. You see, China has these huge cities now, and the way they have dealt with the problems that come of having mega cities. You know, and I'm talking about air pollution, I'm talking about, you know, the waste disposal. It's a science to manage a huge city. So we are, unfortunately, our cities are growing at a very fast rate. Pakistan is urbanizing at one of the fastest rates. So we also hope to learn from the Chinese experience how they have coped with their urban development.
Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, as Cui said, our Chinese Lunar New Year of Tiger is coming soon. So we hope you also can express your best wishes to our Chinese audience.
मैं चाइना की आवाम को चाइना का जो ल्यूनर न्यू ईयर है, मैं सारी कौम को पाकिस्तानियों की तरफ से मुबारक देता हूँ.
शुक्रिया. शुक्रिया.
Okay जी, thank you.